education went perfectly. So far, so good. So at this point in time, folks, I am just going to take a few more minutes of your time, and then we'll get to the continuing education credits, and then we will dismiss. So my part here is just to talk about the Forestry Assistance Program for a few minutes, and talk about, kind of the landowner outreach that I do. So most of you on the call, if not all of you, I probably know pretty well. So you're gonna know most of this information, but let me just go over it anyways. I am one of 19 foresters housed in conservation districts across the Upper Peninsula and the northern lower of Michigan as part of the Forestry Assistance Program grants to target private non-industrial landowners who need forestry assistance. So my first priority, I guess, is going to be one-on-one with landowners, and that's what all of our priorities are. Is just basically a good one-on-one with landowners to serve as an initial point of contact in many cases for these folks who have forest land and may not know what to do with it, or have questions about logging potential programs that are out there and things like that. We try to focus on that one-on-one with landowners because we really think that will lead into, basically every other thing that is one of our goals, including, program and practice participation. So what does that mean? Well, implementing practices on their forest land can be very daunting for folks, and they don't know where to turn. So we keep an extensive list of consulting foresters, loggers, and any other contractors out there that can do jobs on forest lands. And we try to refer the private landowner to the correct contractor to get some jobs done. It doesn't matter where the landowner is as far as their knowledge or length of ownership also. Maybe they've done some logging in the past, or they have a management plan from the past, but they're not sure where to go now. So we can jump in at any points of their ownership. But I'll tell you what, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of new forest land buyers and owners. So people that are buying up land in the UP, moving up here to relocate, or investment for recreation or hunting or anything like that. So I'm getting a lot of new landowners, and we're just kind of starting from scratch with a lot of those. But in many cases, we try to get people to participate in programs to provide them forest management plans. Mike Smolligan, who was our first presenter, provides forest stewardship plan funds to help landowners get management plans written. And then, of course, the USDA has the Natural Resources Conservation Service, which provides grants to landowners through the Farm Bill. One of those grants specifically is funding for forest management plans. And then there's a lot of other forest practices that landowners can sign up for grants to help implement as well. If you are looking to assist landowners that sign up for these NRCS Farm Bill programs, you do need to be a technical service provider, what's called a TSP. That means you just signed up with the USDA, and you've gone through some checklists and trainings to become a technical service provider. So if you want to receive those referrals and help out with those landowners, check with me on how to become a TSP, or check the Michigan NRCS page. We can get that done for you too. Like I said, these one-on-one visits lead to a lot of implementation on the land, but they can also lead to program signups, like I mentioned. Not only Farm Bill is out there, but us FAP Foresters also administer the Qualified Forest Program for the counties that we cover. Most of that administration comes from helping people with the application process, and definitely looking at their eligibility. So we try to review their parcels for eligibility for Qualified Forest Program, making sure it's stocked in productive forest and things like that. But then also, when a landowner does sign up for the QF program, we as CD foresters are responsible for providing the verification back to Lansing that says the forest is well stocked, and we've helped the landowner to answer questions and reviewing their management plan together and things like that. Another big part of my job too, or something I've really gotten into a lot more, is the tree farm program. So that's just another certification and recognition program for landowners. And I've been doing tree farm inspections for many, many years. but I'm now a committee member with the tree farm. I cover the eastern end of the Upper Peninsula for the tree farm committee. So I'm a regional coordinator, they call it, for tree farm. To toot my own horn as well, I was awarded the Tree Farm Inspector of the Year for 2020. So I got over 20 people signed up under the tree farm program. That brings my total of inspections almost close to 100, I think, now over the years. So I think that's a great program for landowners, just to get involved in a community of other forest landowners, you know, to get that big green sign out there as well and things like that. We also, through the Conservation District, try to seek out and apply for other grant programs that may assist landowners. One of the most notable of that is the DNR's Deer Habitat Improvement Partnership Initiative Program. The DIP grants is what they're called. We've been successful in applying for and receiving those grants through the DNR for many, many years, including this year. Alger County was awarded that grant, and Marquette County was awarded that grant for this year to implement deer habitat improvement projects. So we're always looking for landowners that may want to participate in that program. It doesn't have to be private forest land. It can be industrial land too for these deer habitat programs, because that program kind of wants the lands to be available to public access. So I know some of you have participated in that too, and this year's participants are on the phone with us here anyways as well. So I guess lastly, to sum things up, we do a lot of work on landowner outreach and education, including last Saturday, I hosted 2 fruit tree health and pruning workshops, one in Marquette County, one in Alger County. They were very well attended, as they typically are. But that's just one of these outreach and education opportunities as well. I've really been trying to provide these sessions for professionals to, you know, provide you with continuing education credits so you can maintain your certifications, registrations, and things like that. That's going to be coming up here again soon. I'm going to put that information up on the screen, and I will, myself or Elise will need an email from you to get those credits certified for you. Like I mentioned, this program today, I applied for 3 credits for SAF and SFI. They awarded us for 2.5. But I believe Elise was able to get 3 credits for commercial pesticide applicators. So we'll get that information up here in just a minute. I guess lastly, what I'll say is that the conservation districts definitely are one thing people realize that we do or recognize us doing is the annual tree sales. So our tree sale catalogs are both open right now in Alger and Marquette County. And let me see what I can do here too. I think I have, here's the Alger site with their tree sale catalog on there. A lot of great pictures and photo galleries. Hopefully you're seeing a little bit of what I'm seeing on my screen. The Marquette district actually has a live Square site now too. So you can go right to this Marquette Square site and order online, or you can do the regular ordering as well through the paper copies or by calling either of the districts. The deadlines for these tree sales are coming up here, either middle of the month or end of the month, so get your order in, and we are running low on stock. We've had an amazing number of orders this year, so some things are becoming limited in stock or are getting out of stock. But that's how a lot of landowners know about us. They say, oh, you're the guys that do the tree sale every year. And this also allows for some opportunity for advertising. The Marquette district, you know, we put out that booklet every year that has advertising space, and I know a lot of you participate in that. So I just wanted to thank you all for that as well. And in the future, just look us up if you want to help out with any of that. So, okay, I know I went pretty quick there, but as I said, I know pretty much everybody on the phone, and you guys kind of know what I do. Hopefully I'm helping out your businesses as well, and you're helping out mine. I am definitely available to take referrals from any of you too, or any of you that are on the phone. If you get a call from a landowner and maybe you don't have time, or you're not sure if it's gonna turn into a potential project, I'd be happy to step in and meet with that landowner, go to their site. If it is a specific referral to me from one of you, and me being myself and the landowner decide to do something, I'm going to turn them right back around to whoever referred them to me, if that makes sense. And I said that clearly. Otherwise, I utilize that referral program or process to, send out notices that this landowner located here has a request for some kind of project. And if you can accommodate that, then you just reply to me. I get you in contact with the landowner, and you guys work everything out between the two of you. Okay, I guess, like I said, I know that was quick, but I wanted to hit a lot of things and still kind of wrap up here close to 4 p.m., which we are just about there. But I definitely want to allow for any questions to any of our presenters at this time, or to me in particular. Either type them in the chat box or unmute your microphone and go ahead and chime in. So a few minutes for any questions. Go right ahead, folks.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Curry here. Is Simeon still around?
Yep, Simeon's still here, I believe.
I was just wondering if, with the HRD, if cutting the roots like you do with oak wilt, if that would work.
Yeah, that's a good question. And unfortunately, that has not worked well in trials that have been done so far. So one of the issues is oak wilt, that fungus only can survive in living roots, and the roots have to be grafted or fused together for the oak wilt fungus to move from one tree to the next. With HRD, the fungus does not move very far through the soil, but the roots don't actually have to be grafted or fused together. So if you just cut the root, it's probably still got some potential to move across. Now, they did some research in Canada several decades ago where they actually dug deep trenches and didn't put the soil back in the trench. So you've got like this 5 foot deep, almost like a moat or something surrounding a pocket of mortality. And that apparently in some of those trials was successful in containing the pocket and preventing it from spreading. So kind of an expensive procedure. And I don't know if you want all of these deep trenches in the woods, depending on where you're at, that could be hazardous, I suppose, but that is a possibility there. And we are trying to get some research underway to look at some possible ways to contain pockets. I'm not sure we would do massive trenches like that, but there may be some things that we could recommend in the future. Right now, there just isn't anything that's panned out.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. Any other questions out there? We'll give it a minute, maybe something like that.
Yeah. Simeon, this is Warren. Going back to the HRD, what about taking a look at our entry period? A lot of this has been associated with plantations rather than natural stands, and many of those plantations are re-entered every 10, 15-year intervals. Might it help if we can spread that out to longer entry periods?
Yeah, that's a possibility there on that. So, each time you thin, you have the potential to spread HRD. So stretching that out is something that we're considering, particularly in those higher risk locations. If HRD is not within a few miles of your plantation, you may not need to do that. The risk is considered to be fairly low. It doesn't mean it's non-existent. There could be pockets we're not aware of, or occasionally spores will go longer distances. But for the most part, the research shows the majority of the spores land within, like a quarter mile of the source. And so we're using that 5 mile buffer as an area where there's higher risk. And within that area, that's certainly a possibility to stretch that out a little bit. As long as you're doing a winter harvest or treating the stumps, you shouldn't be getting infection. But another thing to consider might be expanding the time frame between when you're in there doing a thinning. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other live questions out there? Okay, I guess hearing none for now. Again, you can definitely email myself or any of the presenters today with questions, or if you can't remember their email, send it to me and I will forward it on to the correct person. But at this point in time, I really want to thank the presenters today. You know, I just kind of gathered everyone together, threw in my 2 cents at the end. I couldn't have done this without the great presenters we had. Mike Small from the DNR, Simeon Wright from the DNR, Elise Desjardins from the SISMA, and Terry Grout from the Alger Conservation District. I appreciate everyone participating too, so we can't continue doing this unless we get good participation, which we had today. So thank you very much, everyone. At this time, I'm gonna leave this document up on the screen. So this is the way to get your continuing education credits for today. I'll leave this up definitely for like 10 minutes, and then I will stop recording and leave the session. So email myself, Matt Watkeys, at that address for SAF, Certified Forester Credits, SFI, Certified Logger Credits, and or Michigan Registered Forester Credits. You can get all of those if you are registered with those folks, and you are eligible for the Commercial Pesticide Applicator Continuing Education Credits today as well in categories 2, 6, Commercial Core, and Private Core. That should be Forestry and Aquatics. Am I correct with those categories, Elise? 2 and 6?
Forestry and right-of-way.
All right, I knew it was one of them. Forestry is 2, right-of-way is 6.
Correct. And as a note, I did get word from MDARD with all of the issues getting people recertified and everything last year. If you have an expired certification and would like to apply it to either expired in 2020 or expired in 2019, certification and license, you are able to let me know if you'd like it applied to that expired applicator license to be able to add those to that renewal for you. So yep, just need that information, your certification number, and whatever categories you'd like it in.
Yeah, that's great. I forgot about that. At least you had mentioned it to me. So these are kind of retroactive credits if you need them for last year or before.
Yep, or brand new right now. So whichever you need it applied to, just let me know.
Yep, so we're gonna need your name, address, phone number, email, and if you're getting those MDARD pesticide credits, please include your registration number for your commercial pesticide applicator's license. Okay, folks, like I said, I'm just gonna leave this up on the screen so you can make sure and write down the information. Other than that, everyone is dismissed, obviously. And again, thank you very much for your participation today. Hopefully it was beneficial for everyone, and we will see you around. Be safe out there and be well, everyone.